I ain't got nothing against TNT, but guys, you got to get your game up. You're gonna have a Star Wars marathon this weekend, dude. I've got Disney Plus. I can watch Star Wars marathon anytime I want to. I can watch, and I can watch more Star Wars marathon than you can offer. I can watch myself some, I don't know, whatever those shows are, the Clone Wars, all that kind of stuff. Then I can watch the movies. Then I can watch The Mandalorian. Dude, TNT is no longer the home for Star Wars. Disney Plus is.
Well, yeah, but are you really going to diss Star Wars after they gave us what we wanted? They finally gave us the picture-in-picture on every damn commercial break.
No, I'm not going to diss Star Wars. I'm just saying it's a weird thing to advertise when Disney Plus is out there.
Well, they got to do something to have. Oh, I shouldn't have switched. Anyway, about this episode tonight, I thought it was great with the exception of one moment, one match that made me want to cry. It was so bad. Do you know which one? Oh, it was terrible. I'm so sick and tired of the mustache lady doing her Freddie Mercury impersonation, and then that awful match that she had with Big Swole. Was that her name?
That was her name. Yep.
I've never seen anybody pull punches and make them look less effective than Big Swole does. Oh. I don't know if it was nerves or what, but that was brutal to watch.
Are you not a fan of? We're not a fan of that match.
No. I could have gone either way.
I thought it was decent. I didn't think it was great or anything, but it wasn't like I sat there just going, well, that was terrible, and that brought down my entire night or anything like that.
Well, no, it didn't bring down the night. I mean, the night started hot. Again, a Moxley with a squash match was, I don't get, but I kind of get it. They need to have somebody who's having squash matches, and Moxley's probably the best one to do it. So if he wants to come out and beat up local talent to start every show, whatever. I loved the promo by Jericho to try and get him to be a part of the Inner Circle. I thought that was good. That tag match was amazing. I remember, I had no clue who Q T Marshall was, but that dude impressed me.
Yeah, he did some fun stuff. I loved that. I loved that he did the springboard enziguri, and then he also did that weird thing where it was like a space flying tiger drop where he kind of caught himself on the ropes and flipped himself over.
Yeah, well, I texted you immediately when I saw that. It's the greatest tiger drop ever.
Yeah, you did.
That was the best tiger drop ever. So. Oh, that was brilliant. That was one of my favorite spots of the entire week because it looked like he just.
I've never seen somebody cartwheel, catch themselves on the ropes, and then felt themselves over like that.
Well, I don't think he caught himself on the ropes. I think he just didn't have the athletic ability to get over the ropes. Like he doesn't have the spring in his step like an Ospreay does, where he can jump up and over. Right. So he caught his foot on the rope, but caught his side on the rope when he was trying to go over, and kind of fell through it into one of the most remarkable tiger drops I've ever seen in my life. I'm not kidding you. That's going to go down as my favorite.
Okay.
And then we had that letdown with the women's match, and then I remember messaging you earlier today about how there was a new leader in my heel top heel of the year catalog, rankings, and MJF might have just sold. Yeah, and MJF might have just stole it back with that promo. That made up for that whole awful heel, not heel. I'm a heel, but I'm going to turn heel anyway turn that he had on Cody. His promo was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I'm taking that you're not as big a fan of tonight's episode as I was. No,
I really liked it. I just for some reason I don't have a lot to say. Well, first of all, I did miss some of it because I was having some frustrations trying to find. I'm making some buffalo chicken dip for a potluck tomorrow, and I couldn't find the Frank's Red Hot, so I missed the entire Sammy Guevara versus Luchasaurus match for that. So that was great.
Oh, you missed a hell of a match.
Yeah, I know.
Sammy just keeps getting better and better and better every single week.
Yeah, so that made me really happy that I missed that. But no, I mean, I liked the show a lot, but I'm not going to say that. I wouldn't say that I thought MJF's promo was the greatest of all time or anything. It was good.
No, I'm not saying it was the greatest of all time, but it was a very good promo by a guy who's been lacking lately, been kind of losing his grip on his top heel status, and and I felt like that was one of those promos that was passionate. It was he was able to play to the crowd, probably better than Jericho did. He covered a lot of bases. He made callbacks to things that have happened over the not just last few months, but Jesus, 30 years ago was when DiBiase was having people kiss the ring. It was just such a great, well done promo that it was. I can't say enough about it. I thought it was really, really well done, and I thought that promo might have been the highlight of the night for me. Well, besides that Tiger drop.
Well, here's my I think the reason I didn't like the promo maybe as much as you did is because of the fact that he said about Cody, Cody, you're one of the best promos in the business, but you came out here and you cut a promo on the one guy that can do it better than you, and then he came out there and he cut like I thought it was a really good promo, but it wasn't something that I would expect from the greatest promo guy in the business, which is what MJF was calling himself. So I thought he kind of simply set himself up to be better than it actually was.
Sometimes I forget you get stuck on little things like that.
I get stuck on little things.
Remember when you didn't like
mad at MJF for his heel turn?
That was a terrible heel turn, though. And I wasn't mad at him. It was just terrible. It brought his entire persona down. It was just not well done. I mean, if you want to see a good heel turn, then you look at what Dakota Kai did. That was a good heel turn.
Yeah. So was MJF's.
No, it was terrible. Terrible.
But
and we still don't have
get stuck on little things.
Hey, you dissed an entire promo because he claimed to be the best ever.
Well, no, simply because when you set an expectation like that, you better come out there and deliver it.
And as far as tonight's promo, maybe not, but there's very few in the business right now that are better than him. You got Moxley, you got Jericho, you got MJF, Cody. All those guys are all in AEW, and then if you look across to some of the other places, Sammy. And that might be the end of it. And then, because in New Japan, they don't really do promos. So when you get a guy like Jay White, he does all of his talking in the ring and in the, during matches and lead up to matches. He might get a decent promo like he had in Kobe after the match, but very rarely does a guy like that cut a promo, for everybody to see. So, but outside of, a guy like Jay White, you had Matt Taven, who's ridiculously good at it. And then, the guys I mentioned. I don't know who else you would put in that category right now, even to bring it out there. So when you look at him saying, I'm one of the best ever, it's a really short list. Okay,
but last week we were all over how great Cody's promo was.
Right.
So who was better? Who had a better promo, MJF or Cody?
I thought Cody did because I thought Cody's was more passionate. Yeah, but so I
Cody
felt like
a week, and MJF's whole point was that he was better than Cody. That was my point. Is that his
because
it should have been at least as good as Cody's was if he's better than Cody on the mic.
So the fact that he uses that catchphrase, I'm better than you and you know it, does that mean he needs to be better than everybody night in, night out? He can never have a bad performance. He can never have a sloppy match or even lose a match for that matter?
No, but when you say you're going to school somebody on the mic, you better fucking school somebody on the mic, and he didn't. You and I are splitting hairs here. I thought it was really good. I just didn't think it was as great as you did. That's all there is. That's all it is.
I didn't think it was the greatest ever. I thought it was a great promo. I mean, it covered all the bases. It got everything we want to get out of a promo. Was it the best ever? Was it better than Cody's last week? Absolutely not. But it was what we expect out of MJF, and he delivered what we expect. I don't think him saying that I'm going to cut a better promo than you set any kind of bar when you consider that 99.9% of promos are scripted. So you can't. I don't know. I'm not going to look at it and say, oh well, because he didn't cut a better promo than Cody, he lied to us and he's terrible.
I never said he lied to us and it was terrible. I just said I can't consider it as great as you're considering it, just because he didn't clear his own bar that he set. That's all. It was still good.
Okay.
It just wasn't as great as you thought it was. That's all. We're allowed to have different opinions on things. You're allowed to.
No, we are not.
Okay.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You are not allowed to differ from my opinion. You know better. And I like the fact that Excalibur is taking the lead on the commentary too.
But can we? But as much as you were licking his ball sack last week, can we just get rid of JR?
I'm okay with that. I thought he was.
I don't need him. I don't need his. Listen to Tony in my podcast bullshit. I don't need his making jokes about Conrad. I don't need need him. What the hell else did he do today that really pissed me off?
Saying that he screwed up another name, so he's waiting for them to blast him on Twitter.
Oh, did he do that again this week? I didn't hear that. But,
oh yeah, he does that every week.
Oh, the thing that really ticked me off this week, and I know you're going to say it's another little thing that I'm getting hung up on, but.
No, it's JR. I agree with you 100% on JR. I wish he wasn't in the booth. I wish it was Excalibur. And what did Jericho call him? Shivini? Or what the hell do you call them?
I don't know, but I was making a point and you interrupted me.
Oh. Well, which is normal, because your points are not.
I always hated... I almost understand it in WWE when they say something like, he's the greatest wrestler in all of the WWE. But... Mm-hmm. Tonight, JR did that with AEW. He said, like, PNP is one of the greatest tag teams in all of AEW. Well, jackass, you know what? AEW isn't that fucking big. So, that just drives it drives me fucking nuts.
Does it annoy you when Rick Cabani says it about people in Ring of Honor, or when... Impact says it about when Josh Matthews says it about their wrestlers.
But they don't. They don't say in all of Impact Wrestling. We're in all of Ring of Honor. They say in Ring of Honor, or they say in the world, or they say in Impact Wrestling. They don't say in all of Impact Wrestling.
Wow, is that splitting hairs?
No, it's not. It's not, because when you say
it is. It really is.
When you say in all of, you're making it sound a lot more vast than it really is.
I guess I never would have put that much onus.
A WWE trait with him into AEW, and I think he needs to get rid of it.
Well, considering he was there for 30 damn years, you kind of have to.
He's not there anymore. That's the point.
And considering that was he's basically the one who started doing that in the first place. That's his thing.
No, he's not.
That's not a WWE thing.
It started with Vince McMahon. That's my point. It's a WWE thing because WWE has always thought it was the world of wrestling. AEW is not the world of wrestling, and they know that. And JR shouldn't be doing that kind of propaganda bullshit.
I think that's just splitting hairs. I really do.
It's not.
You're blowing up about one word. All he said is in all of instead of just in.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal. I don't see it personally. I don't see that as a big a deal or something that would ruin JR for me. I don't see it as him holding on to WWE traits any more than the Young Bucks are holding on to Ring of Honor traits with some of their movements and things they do. It's just who he is as an announcer, and he's going to carry that wherever he goes, whether it's AEW or Japan or wherever. And yeah, I guess he started doing that in WWE for whatever reason. A lot of people started doing things in WWE for whatever reason. They carry them on to wherever they go.
No, my point is it's a WWE trait through and through, and JR's carrying it over to AEW. Not that he started it in WWE, and he's carrying it over to AEW.
I guess, like I said,
WWE has done for years, and it's not something AEW should do.
I guess I don't see it as that big of a deal because I don't see it as necessarily an AEW or a WWE only trait just by saying in all of instead of saying just in. To me, that doesn't seem like that's much of a WWE trait as it is just reality, just what people say.
It's not what people say, though. I mean, do you go in and go, you know what? This is the best ketchup I have in all of my kitchen.
Dude, you're splitting hairs on this one. I can't say anything but that. This is just such a non-issue.
It's not.
And
you know how much of a nuts I am. So when some people say something like that, it absolutely resonates with me. Maybe way too harshly than it should, but it's not me splitting hairs. It's really not. It's me thinking that if you're going to say in all of, you should be saying in all of wrestling, not in all of AEW. If you're saying he's the greatest wrestler in all of, it should be all of wrestling, not just all of AEW.
So when they were pumping up SCU and the Bucks at the end, and they kept saying they're the best wrestlers in the world, they should have said they're the best wrestlers in all of the world, and that would have made it better.
No.
I'm just trying to clarify things because that's kind of where you're going here.
Okay. Let's just change topics because you're now you're pissing me off even more than JR did. So.
Oh, it hurts. This is why I don't sleep at night.
Because you're worried about pissing me off?
No, because now I'm going to be thinking about this all night long now. I'm going to try to... that's all I'm going to think about all night is the difference between those two words and how it makes such a big deal. That's all I'm going to do. And the thing with JR when he said... The thing with JR and when he said that he's going to get Twitter people jumping on him for saying the wrong name again, he called Penelope Ford the bad girl instead of Superbad girl. Because Kip Sabean is going, instead of being the bad boy, he's going to be Superbad. So we've got to have Superbad Penelope Ford too.
Yeah, I know. I mean, now to me, like if Tony Schiavone, or not even Tony Schiavone, but if Excalibur did that, then it'd be perfectly fine. But if JR does it, it's bullshit because JR doesn't know her as the bad girl like the other guys do.
Well, and it wasn't anything. I don't know. I don't think that was as big a deal either. I'm just saying that if people get on him, I can understand it because it's not like he knew her as something else before that. Whereas I think. Much like
did it, it's just like, it's like JR calling Jake Hager Jack Swagger a couple weeks ago. That didn't even like resonate with me. It didn't even bother me at all. Because
that's what he's used to calling him.
Right, but if Excalibur did it, then I'd be like, dude, you were never in WWE. Why are you calling him Swagger? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, yeah. But at the same time, when you've got a guy who...
makes sense. What a fucking shock.
Wow.
Did it make all of the sense, or just a little bit, or did it just make all sense?
It just made sense. It didn't make all the sense in the world. In all the world. You're fired up tonight. Jesus Christ.
You pissed me off.
I did not.
Well... Yeah, you did.
Jim Ross pissed you off.
Something I think is completely obvious, that it's just like a WWE thing.
Jim Ross pissed you off, and I just kind of came along and poked the bear.
Yeah, you piggybacked on it, bitch.
I piggybacked on Jim Ross's pissing you off, so there. Anyway, can we talk about the actual in-ring product? We've got the promos now.
We talked about at Full Gear. You said that you thought the Bucks versus PNP was a 4.5 to 5 star opening match on that show, and I told you no, it wasn't. It was like a 4-star match, and they could do a lot better. And tonight, if they actually opened the valves up, and you can see what I was talking about, that they did a lot better tonight than they did at Full Gear.
everybody can do a lot better when they have chairs and multiple people involved and storylines that aren't making sense, but they're making sense. I'm talking about that one-off match that was, like we've always said, is subjective. To be honest, I actually personally like their Full Gear match better than this one. To be honest.
That
although
really
granted we didn't get a 3-year-old man doing a horrible Canadian Destroyer.
No, we get to see that this weekend at NW A's Into the Fire, so you can look forward to that.
You can see it. I'm not. That match has already made my never watch list. I will never watch that match ever.
Do you know how many times you said that and then you got and watched it anyway?
I'm not going to watch it. I will not watch that match. There is no way.
What if Ryan watches it and he posts on there, Jeff, you have to watch this match. It's great.
I'm going to tell Ryan to go fuck himself because the last time he told me that was Goldberg versus dead dude that's should have died Undertaker. That's the guy. God damn it! I need to stop with this cold medicine.
I thought maybe you were talking about Dolph Ziggler because his career died a long time ago too.
Yeah, but that was SummerSlam. That wasn't that horrible mess in the Middle East.
You know, I did like another thing I liked is that I thought that you talked about the squash at the beginning of the show, but the squash actually led into something pretty cool later on where we got more of the Dark Order stuff, and this time it was with the guy that got his ass kicked by Jon Moxley to start the show.
Yeah, I noticed that. And I'm starting to really like the Dark Order stuff. I didn't know where it was going with that one guy getting tripped in the subway, but now after this promo, I'm starting to like it a little bit more. I really want to see them come out with just this ridiculous army of people now.
Yeah, and maybe it'll be something as simple as their creepy guys that they came out with. We're now going to know who they are. We're going to be able to identify with them and all that kind of stuff.
That's possible. Yeah, maybe that'll be their minions or whatever they were calling them, which would make sense.
Yeah, definitely.
I just want to know which one has been getting sat on by Evil Uno. Now that's a mission. I need to know.
And I really like the way that Brandy's developing her character too. She's so good on the mic, and the thing is that we never knew that in WWE. I mean, she was a ring announcer in WWE, but we never knew she could do the kind of things that she does on the mic in AEW. And she was great on some of the episodes of the Road 2 show. She's been great on Dark. She's been great on Dynamite. I really like her character, and I like how good she is and how intense she is on the mic. She's becoming one of my favorite mic performers, actually.
Yeah, and they never really did give her the chance to talk. I did like her promo tonight when she was, I can't remember who she was, Ivelisse? Was it Ivelisse? Or who was it was Ivelisse. When she was talking about how dare you trash me when I've been married to him for 7 years and you're just a groupie. I thought that was a brilliant little line that she threw in there. I am still a little weird still trying to figure out why. What was her name from the Straight Edge Society? Bald chick? Is it Sophia or something? Yeah, but whoever that chick that is that came in from the crowd last week to get her head shaved, kind of reminded me of her tonight. Like the way she looked. Yeah, I didn't see it though when she had all that hair. Now that she doesn't have the hair, I kind of see it.
Okay.
Now she actually looks like whoever that was. So maybe it is the same person. I don't know.
Could be.
But now I want to know who the fat bald guy is. That's
what I was just about to ask you. If you have any idea who that guy is.
I don't know, but I need to know now. I'm starting to get into this little whatever she's doing with the drinking of blood and cutting of hair and all that stuff.
Yeah, me too. I really like it, and it's interesting, where they're going with Hangman Page too, because the crowd was chanting Cowboy. That's another thing that JR did that pissed me off was the crowd's chanting cowboy shit, and he's like, "Crowd wants some cowboy stuff." It's like, "Fuck you, JR."
Well, considering the fact that during the Moxley Jericho promo, and then again later on in another match, or another promo that was being cut when MJF was out there, they kept blanking out the crowd. I kind of get. I'm not as upset with him not saying cowboy shit as I would have been if they would have left in all that whatever the crowd was saying. I don't know what the hell that was all about, but it was starting to annoy me to the point where I was about to get on here, and the first thing out of my mouth was going to be, if you're in a live fucking TV audience when they're filming live for a TV show, stop fucking swearing, because I'm getting sick and tired of the jumpy dialogue on the promos.
Is that what was going on? Because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure why they were blinking stuff out, if the sound was failing or what was going on. So
no, it was. I mean, it wasn't obvious in the very first promo until Jericho said, "Watch your mouth," when he told the crowd to watch their mouths. But then I was like, oh, okay, so they are really bleeping out whatever the crowd is saying. And with the way they've been so loose with the language on TNT since day one, why are they bleeping out anything the crowd is saying?
I'm guessing that they're using the F word.
Even still, I mean, we hear that on Nash.
Go ahead.
We hear that on TV all the time. Well, I do when I watch sports. You don't watch sports, so. But in normal sporting events, that happens all the time.
I've literally never heard it happen on a sporting event.
Like I said, you don't watch sports.
But I have in the past. It's not just like you don't read. You've read in the past. I've watched sporting events in the past, and I do watch Duke basketball, and I haven't heard it on there either. So
I don't know that I think the people that go to Duke are too proper to swear.
They have
no offense
too.
No offense, people in Duke.
Yeah. When they played at Virginia Tech and at Michigan State, they didn't do it either. So, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
It's not an everyday down thing. It's not the whole crowd chanting it. It's just
you just got to seeing it once. You just got to see it happen at sporting events all the time. All the time.
It does, but day. Not. Oh my God! You were splitting hairs tonight on everything. Jesus. Wow, you are fired up. Did somebody pee in your Cheerios this morning?
No.
Somebody's going to tomorrow. You keep this shit up.
Good. I could use some flavor on those dry tasteless things.
Right.
Yeah, and maybe I'll shit in your Lucky Charms for you.
That's all right. You wouldn't be the first.
Yeah, so I mean, I think things like "damn" and "shit" or things like that are fine, but I think if the crowd is saying "fuck," they're gonna bleep it out. It's probably what's happening.
That's possible. I guess I don't know, but it's
like they were probably saying like "fuck you" to MJF, and then they decided to bleep it out.
Yeah, but who were they saying "fuck you" to in the first promo with Jericho and Moxley?
I don't I don't remember that happening in that promo. I'm not saying it didn't, because obviously that you're saying that's where Jericho told the crowd to stop swearing, but I totally missed it in that promo. So I have no idea what they would have been saying there. Maybe they were just saying "shut the fuck up."
Yeah, but to who?
Jericho.
I mean, why would they be saying it to Jericho when he wasn't even in the ring? But when it started happening, but he wasn't even in the ring when it first started happening. Moxley was standing in the center of the ring when it first started happening.
Oh, okay.
But you didn't catch. Yeah, you didn't catch it, so it's not that big.
Bullshit, because it was such a quick match. I have no idea. Like I said, I didn't hear it.
But whatever. Regardless, I mean, I can't get on JR. My whole point was I can't get on JR for twisting the word when they were bleeping it out.
Well, then he just shouldn't say anything about it at all. He didn't need to call attention to it. If the point is that they're going to blank out the swearing when the crowd's swearing, maybe you shouldn't call attention to what they're saying. If you're not going to.
Well, they didn't bleep. Yeah. I get your point.
Yeah. So he just shut his mouth and stop being JR.
Or just go away.
but I really
just go away. Go away now, so Shane can have a good TV watching experience.
But it's interesting that Page, stole the victory away from Omega, and then they had a little bit of a, they'll make kind of give him that weird look at the end of the match. So, I wonder if they're building to an Omega versus Hangman program, or if they're building to a triple threat between him, Hangman Page, Omega, and Pac, because Pac was also saying he wants to rematch against Omega, and of course Pac and Hangman have had their problems as well.
That was kind of a weird little thing too. It's like he got that little glance where he was like surprised, and then he was just like, "Oh, all right, whatever, we got the win." It just, I don't know if it really sells me on a program between them yet.
But he kind of kept giving him like weird eyes while they had their arms raised and everything too. So I think he was kind of wary of him, or like wondering like, what's going on with you, dude.
Oh, maybe I didn't catch that part. We're too busy focusing on a new aggressive part of Hangman, which, yeah, whatever.
He's never been aggressive before, ever.
No, never. Yeah, that's not his thing.
Never has been.
No, he thrives by being laid back and like Orange Cassidy. God, that was one of the things.
He thrives by Orange Cowboy shit.
Right. Oh my God, what is wrong with us? So, otherwise, I don't have much. I thought the match. The final match was and you got to go back and watch the Guevara Luchasaurus match. He is so good. He's getting better every single time he's in the ring, and he's literally in the ring every night now. I mean, he's one of the go-to guys every single week to put on a match. But he did. That was another thing with that when he was coming out. He said, JR said that he caught a lot of grief because he compared Sammy Guevara to young Eddie Guerrero. And he got slack all week long on Twitter in that comparison, which is ridiculous because both you and I made that comparison. And then to have Jericho get on and defend him and say, well, it's true. He is a young Eddie Guerrero. He's also a young Chris Jericho. He's also a young Jack Hager. He's all of them rolled into one.
Young Christian, too. I see some shades of Christian with him, too.
I actually see more Christian in him than I do in Eddie Guerrero. I see the charisma he has is totally Eddie Guerrero, but his wrestling style is more Christian.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I've been kind of seeing that for a while, but you can't. I mean, his charisma is absolutely Eddie Guerrero. I can't think of another comparison. I can't think of another person that I've ever seen come into wrestling that has that much charisma and be that flamboyant and be able to be that great as a heel. So Guerrero is almost a perfect comparison.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing that happening around, actually I think this is more like the main event, but Hager was involved in both, so I'm just going to bring this up here, is that I really like the slow burn between Hager and Dustin Rhodes too. Where every 2 weeks or so, they get in each other's faces and they're having a bit of a brawl. So I'm looking forward to them actually hooking it up at some point. But I like the way that they're keeping kind of on the back burner right now, in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. And I like the fact that Dustin did come out with the whole mess that was happening, the street fight or whatever. The Darby Allin thing is another thing I kind of am a little lost on. I mean, is CT Marshall or QT or whatever the hell his name is he going to be on anymore? Is he going to be a part of Cody's new family since he must have left the Elite, I'm guessing? Because he doesn't have any friends in AEW?
I have no idea what's going on with that. I mean, QT Marshall, we actually have seen QT Marshall in a couple of matches before this one.
Have we?
I must have
missed him, yeah.
Yeah, he must have just slipped your mind. And then he was also, like I mentioned to you when we were texting, he was also, I think his name is Mike, and he was also like a backstage presence.
Yeah, I Googled him.
First starting up on the Road 2 shows, kind of as an executive in the back with Cody.
I Googled him. I
think in real life, he and Cody are really good friends.
It's like Mike Cirillo or something like that. And I guess he had a run in Ring of Honor at some point too.
Sure.
I thought he was impressive, but then again, I wasn't expecting much. He's really good at copying other people's moves. He's really good at that.
Yeah. And the Darby Allin thing, I really actually, I was actually during that match, I was thinking, we haven't seen Darby Allin in a while, and I really wanted to see him this week, and then he comes out at the end of that match, so it was like perfect timing for me,
Well, last week they did kind of the thing that we were talking about the week before about how, why don't you throw on a little Darby Allin segment in the middle of these commercial breaks instead of, a backstage segment. And they kind of did that last week when they had Darby Allin putting his face paint on. But that was the only real thing that we saw about Darby Allin last week. The week before, wasn't he in a match?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he was in that body bag match. He came carried out in the body bag.
Okay, that's right.
So it was the one against Moxley 2 weeks ago.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
And then last week they just had a little segment where they were showing different guys getting ready, and Moxley was Darby Allin was putting his face paint on. So, I mean, there was that, but otherwise, yeah, we haven't really seen him. So it was nice to have him come out and make a little appearance. I found out that he was homeless before he got signed by AEW. I didn't realize that.
Oh.
He was literally living out of his car.
Well, no, I knew he was for a while, but I didn't realize it was like right before he signed with AEW, because he was also wrestling for Evolve for a while before AEW too.
Well, yeah, and I can't imagine him and his wife sharing the car. His wife's that really hot chick from MLW, Priscilla King or something.
I mean, there's you could have the. The back seat could be one bedroom, the front seat could be another bedroom, and then the trunk could be the bathroom. You could make it work.
Well, no, you can't. I've tried.
You have?
It doesn't work.
Well, but you're the size of both of those two combined. That's why it wouldn't work for you.
Okay, that kind of hurt a little on the inside.
But it's true.
Yeah, but it still kind of hurt.
I mean, those two are not very big in stature,
No, they're really not.
That's why I joked that his wife is actually bigger than he is,
And she is. She really, truly is. Where was it? Anyway, the main event. The only thing that bugged me about the main event was the fact that they got jumped from behind and didn't start the match forever, and then Excalibur actually said, well, they're not going to start the match till they get in the ring. It's like, bitch, this is a street fight. They can start it wherever they want. And then they started the match. But that was one of those little moments where I was like, all right, someone's not paying attention.
You know what? You know how there's so many of those of the false finishes and they never get you?
Right.
I really got caught in this match with a false finish, because I was like, wow, they're looking to end this match this quickly when Nick hit the Swanton off the top of the staging area onto the table. I thought for sure that was going to end the match. They were going to brawl the rest of the show, Because you don't expect a somersault senton from the top of staging, staging or whatever you want to call that, through a table is not going to end the match.
One thing I did. Yeah, and I agree. But one thing that I did notice too, and it was part of me was thinking it was him going back to his PWG roots, was when Excalibur called it the Indie Taker.
Yep.
But technically it was the Indie Taker, because the Meltzer driver has that flip.
Right.
And the Indie Taker didn't have the flip. So technically, and it was bugging me that he was calling it the Indie Taker. But then after I thought about it for a second, I'm like, well, technically it was the Indie Taker. It wasn't the Meltzer driver.
Yeah, it was the Indie Taker. Absolutely.
So it didn't bother me after that, but.
So that little thing bothered you, huh?
Kind of.
Aren't you splitting hairs, Jeff?
No.
Tell these people where they can hear us split hairs on other things.
I don't want to now. I'm all sad. You said I was fat.
PHAT.
Oh. All right, fair enough. Guys, follow us on Patreon. Go there. It's patreon.com/Kingdom of Honor. Came down with a little sickness, and my Netflix screwed up, so I watched Jessica Jones. So we're going to actually get that one tonight. I haven't gotten our Kingdom of Honor episode up yet. I'm hoping to do that along with this one and our Jessica Jones episode this week. But go to Kingdom of Honor, go to patreon.com/Kingdom of Honor, and you can hear all that stuff. Donate to help this show continue to thrive. There's a couple different tiers there you can subscribe to, and we do have quite a few followers. Cliff and Kathy, Ryan, Mike, Sarah, and the new one that we just got this week. Oh, I should have written it down. Justin. So there's a lot of stuff that you will never hear anywhere else, to be honest with you. Also, YouTube, hit the like button, hit the on the channel. We need to get up to 1,000 subscribers and as many likes as possible. And if we can do that, then we can start broadcasting live, which will be a great thing for anyone who wants to see Shane's face. I will probably be wearing a mask. And then also Twitter. Twitter. That's I'm at Regi Co-op. He's at Zanman LOP. Best way to find us, hashtag DAD for Dynamite After Dark, hashtag KOH for Kingdom of Honor.
And make sure you stay tuned to all the LOP radio shows. Tomorrow is IMS LOP Radio Adventure. On Friday, you have The Right Side of the Pond. On Monday, Jeff and I will be covering Ring of Honor's final pay-per-view of the year, Final Battle. So, try to watch that show on Friday night so you can follow along with us on Monday. And that's all we've got. We'll try to do better next time. Until then, this is Shane saying long days, pleasant nights, and Jeff saying...
No, Jeff can't say it yet, because I do want to give a shout-out to Kathy. She nominated us and Imp for some podcast thing, end-of-year podcast special. So thank you, Kathy, for doing that. I know it's a Twitter thing, but it was very much appreciated. So now I'm going to say goodbye.
Yes, Kathy, thanks very much. Goodbye.
G1 Climax 27. Goodbye and good night. Bang.